21st century skills in the context of MATATAG curriculum. Learning objectives. At the end of the session, the students will be able to classify discipline-specific competencies according to the 4 domains of 21st century skills framework. Discussion flow, 21st century skills framework and its domain. Determination of 21st century skill domain vis-a-vis learning competencies and implications of this knowledge to the mandates of teachers and school leaders. The 4 domains in 21st century skills framework are: first, information, media, and technology skills. Second, learning and innovation skills. Third, communication skills. And fourth, life and career skills. Under the first domain, the information, media, and technology skills are 5 subdomains or skills. These are visual literacy, information literacy, media literacy, technology literacy, and digital literacy. Let's take a closer look on what is visual literacy. It is a skill in 21st century. Visual literacy is not just a skill to learn in itself, but also a means to acquiring other learning. Visual literacy accounts for the ability to closely examine, interpret, and communicate the different types of visual text, such as advertisements, film posters, postcards, web pages, CD covers, posters, picture books, brochures, photographs, and paintings. Visual literacy recognizes meanings in pictures and symbols, interpret traffic signs and roads safely, interpret maps on population, describe the physical features of a location, explain processes from infographic, analyze messages from an artwork. Next is information literacy. Information talks about how the information is acquired, organized, evaluated, shared, and produced. Likewise, information talks about its context as to when and where it is needed, where it is accessible, and how it is socially situated, which includes legal and ethical considerations. Similarly, information is also on the use and communication. It tells us to validate its accuracy, appropriateness, and its relevance to the context. Information literacy as a skill tells us to identify realities and make beliefs in narratives, to gather relevant information from valid sources, to differentiate facts and opinions in reports, evaluate the accuracy of sources and information, to compare sources from various sources, and to recognize bias and all stereotypes in oral and written discourse. Then we have media literacy. What skill do we need when we talk about media literacy? These skills are understanding media contents and uses, accessing information, and creating media. Media categories, we have print media, broadcast media, internet media, and out-of-home media. Media literacy as a skill tells us how to explain the topic through effective multimedia presentation. To recognize the issues and laws related to media and information, such as copyright, intellectual property, fair use, and others. It also suits to examine the data presented in weather reports, as well as to compare and contrast the ways in which media cover the same event. Media literacy as a skill tells us to critique persuasive techniques used in advertisements, to analyze the assertions and arguments in an editorial, evaluate media reports about scientific issues, creating a vlog to raise awareness about social issues. 21st century skill under Domain 1, Information, Media, and Technology. The technology literacy. Technology literacy includes the responsible use of appropriate technology. It talks about how to access, manage, evaluate, integrate, create information. Technology literacy tells us how to manipulate measuring tools and equipment used in science and TLE activities, to annotate key details and information in ebooks, use audiobooks in listening to stories, and perform numerical data computation using calculators. Digital literacy. Digital literacy involves the ability to define, access, manage, integrate, communicate, evaluate, and create information safely and appropriately through a wide range of digital technology and network devices for participation in education, social, and economic life. Digital literacy involves the skill on how to identify and use appropriate digital applications for collaboration for online activities. Also, digital literacy as a skill helps us explain issues pertaining to information privacy and data protection, including data breach and cybersecurity. Organize online resources through bookmarking tools, and to practice netiquette in online or in learning management system. Now, we are down to our second domain, learning and innovation skills. Under domain 2, or learning and innovation skills, are 5 subdomains, namely creativity, openness, critical thinking, problem solving, and reflective thinking. Creativity is the ability to think and work creatively and innovatively. Openness is the willingness to engage in new ideas, situation, and experiences. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze evidence, patterns, and relationships. Problem solving is the ability to engage in cognitive processes. Reflective thinking is the ability to reflect critically on one's experience, decisions, and processes. Creativity as a skill tells us how to identify connections between different concepts and ideas, elaborate, refine, analyze, and evaluate their own ideas to improve and maximize creative efforts, provide best alternatives or options for familiar or common solutions, systems, and processes no longer works. Critical thinking as a skill, this helps us to conceptualize an idea, theory, or innovation. Also, to analyze and interpret data information gathered from relevant and credible sources. Make inferences on various experiences and phenomena. Analyze and interpret data and information gathered from relevant and credible sources. Establish, detect patterns, connections, and relationship among given variables. Problem solving as a skill, this helps us recognize existing problems, impeding threats, and future difficulties. Provide logical explanations on a given problem or difficulty. Provide logical explanation on a given problem or difficulty. Down to our third domain, the communication skills. Under this domain are 7 subdomains or skills. These are teamwork, collaboration, interpersonal skills, interactive communication, and communicating in diverse environments. Teamwork. This skill involves working with others to attain common goals under the direction or instruction of a leader is important. These skills include ability to follow an agenda and make group decisions. Teamwork as a skill teach us to take actions based on the leader's instruction. recognize other members' participation and contributions for task completion, and perform well-defined role or task toward the attainment for a shared goal. Collaboration, it is the capacity of an individual to effectively participate in interactions between at least two co-equal parties voluntarily engage in shared decision making as they work towards a common goal. Collaboration is the skill to share information, resources with other members, perform tasks requiring interdependencies and role flexibility, and negotiate with other members, roles or considerations of ideas, proposals aimed to achieving goals and resolving conflict. Interpersonal skills. This skill is all about one's ability to communicate and read emotion, motivation, and behaviors in a social context. As a skill, this helps us to approach other learners to start or join in a conversation, ask specific information, and make follow up comments about the topic of conversation, as well as to introduce additional information or related topics that sustain conversation, receptive to the feelings, needed, and dispositions of others. Intrapersonal skills. This refers to the internal dialogue one has with himself or herself. As a skill, this tells us how to think of possible consequences of a behavior before acting it out. Examine their own behavior and how this affect their and the people around them. Also to plan how to address behaviors that usually produce unsatisfying consequences. Interactive communication. This focuses on building oracy skills, including listening and speaking. As a skill, this helps us to ask for or provide information of interest to other learners, to actively engage in a discourse, expressing feelings, insights, opinions, and criticisms about the information. Also, to use digital technologies and applications to extend communication to a variety of audiences. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication includes facial expressions, gestures displayed through body language, and the physical distance between the communicators. Nonverbal communication as a skill, this helps us to recognize and respond to eye and hand movements, facial expressions, and other gestures. Utilize body language and touch as well as optimize physical distance between the communicators to respond appropriately in situations. Use cool colors to project an image of friendliness or poise, as in their choice of attire or in illustrations. Communicating in diverse environments, this ensures that individuals from varied backgrounds, religion, genders, communities, and age group share strong rapport and do not face problems working together. When communicating in diverse environments, use simple words and sentences when talking to children. Use appropriate language register depending on the context. To manifest sensitivity in communicating one's ideas and responses, as well as to adjust communication styles and behavior to suit the needs of the person they are communicating with. Down to our last domain, life and career skills. Life and career skills prepare learners to make informed life and career decisions to enable them to become citizens that engage in a dynamic global community and to successfully adapt to meet the challenges and opportunities to lead in the global workforce. Under life and career skills are six subdomains or skills. These are informed decision making, adaptive leadership, intercultural understanding, self-discipline, future orientation and resilience, and adversity management. Informed decision making is the ability to make decisions based on facts and information, focusing on the risk and benefits involved as a skill. This tells us to research relevant data to make decisions for class projects. Ask for expert opinions and interviews. Conduct cost benefit analysis. Read various texts and information on a topic to gain different perspectives before making a decision. Identify options for course of action. Adaptive leadership is a skill. This tells us to develop how to show the ability to organize people proactively where they are motivated to achieve tasks effectively. As a skill, this also make opportunities to develop the talents to others. Set good examples for classmates and peers. Help classmates review for paper and pen tests and perform performance tasks as well as to show obedience to the teachers and authorities and identify options for course of actions. Intercultural understanding. This skill involves learners seeking their own culture to understand local and global issues and engaging in diverse cultures and identities. This also includes the skill to participate in cultural activities in school, listening to opinions of people from other cultures, respect religious beliefs and traditions, help a classmate coming from a different community to adapt to the new environment. Also, to read current events and editorials about other cultures. Self-discipline is the ability to set goals with tangible and intangible success criteria. Self-discipline is a skill to choose to eat healthy food, organize their time to exercise punctuality, set academic goals, and persevere work on their assignments diligently, study and prepare for paper and pen tests, and perform performance task. Future orientation refers to a well-balanced considerations of society, environment, culture, and economy in pursuit of an improved quality of life for the future generations. As a skill, this includes joining tree planting activities, consider the possible consequences before clicking on an online platform, participate in student elections, show prudence in spending. Resilience and adversity management is the process of constructively moving forward and advancing despite adversity or challenges that are not within one's control. Example of this skill is to go to school despite difficulties, exhibit honesty, especially with teachers when they do not understand instructions, find ways to complete assignments in spite of possible power failure in the community. In summary class, please read the 21st Century Skills Framework, the four domains and the subdomains or skills under each domain. Practice time.